The experience of fight or flight can be likened to catastrophizing. Your nervous system is responding to something in such a way to prepare you for the worst case scenario so that you survive. But when the triggers are not truly life or limb threatening, we can take back control of our nervous system and our physical and mental state by practicing methods that bring us back into our bodies. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Shafer of Talks with Dr. Shafer. I'm a physician, mom, life coach, musician, author, publisher, and I'm passionate about storytelling as a tool to help you reclaim your story and build your most beautiful future. Now, today, I want to discuss some tools we use when we are working to master our mindset on the path to reclaiming our stories. One of the things I will be bringing up is a tool that we often use called the butt wheel. That's B-U-T. Now, the holidays have come and gone, such a busy season of life, but for many of us, experiencing family, work life, friends, and old parts of our lives as a part of the holidays can leave us feeling a bit, off, haunted perhaps by the ghosts of our past. The parts of our past and our limiting beliefs that we may be able to forget when we're at our best, well rested, and not facing our biggest triggers. But when faced with the old familiar triggers from our past, like holiday get-togethers with difficult conversations, patterns of communication that make us feel more like our younger, unhealed version of ourselves who lacked the ability to leave or to affect positive change, well, it's easy to get sucked back into patterns, old patterns, of how we used to react to those triggers. When we react, our nervous system goes into a state of fight or flight, and we are no longer in control, bathed in neurochemicals that make us feel like we are fighting a fight for our lives. Some of the most effective ways to break out of fight or flight when we are starting to have a nervous system-driven response are deep breathing and mindfulness. The experience of fight or flight can be likened to catastrophizing. Your nervous system is responding to something in such a way to prepare you for the worst case scenario so that you survive. But when the triggers are not truly life or limb threatening, we can take back control of our nervous system and our physical and mental state by practicing methods that bring us back into our bodies. Different practices work best for different people. We all enjoy different hobbies, books, movies, and music, so it makes sense that we would feel more comfortable with certain methods and that some seem more effective in bringing us back into a regulated state than others. Physical movement can bring us into a state of regulation via a variety of measures, making us pay attention to our breathing, our movement, our goals, and by changing our internal environment chemically through the release of endogenous endorphins and this changes our resting state. This leads to changes in our resting state. Mindfulness, meditation, and journaling are other ways that we can harness our ability to have control over our experience of a situation, of the moment, rather than allowing that moment or the situation to dictate our inner state. Practicing these methods reinforces their effectiveness and our confidence in our ability to neuroregulate, which gets us one step closer to being able to consistently do so, no matter what's happening around us. Recalling how it was trying something new, even something simple that could be helpful, there is often a feeling of uneasiness. The first time I did yoga, I remember feeling quite nervous because it seemed like everyone else around me had done it before. I felt my body was stiff and that I wasn't following the seemingly senseless instructions. Downward dog, cat-cow, what does that even mean? I thought. An activity I signed up to do to help ease my stress and improve my strength and flexibility seemed to be serving the purpose of making me feel even less capable and showing my inflexibility right in my face. But the flexibility that I really needed to improve and that we all face as a challenge when trying to incorporate new habits or activities was the flexibility within my mind, the willingness to not know how to do something and do it anyway. to learn in real time with others around me without worrying about looking silly or doing it wrong. Because if I quit out of embarrassment, I would never know how to do yoga. If I listened to the voice in my head that was telling me that I looked ridiculous and that I couldn't do it, then that voice would be right. But if I switch the momentum of my thoughts from, I want to do yoga, but I don't know how, I want to do this position, but I'm stiff and I look silly, I want to learn from an instructor, but I don't want people to see me failing, then the momentum of my actions and my path changed entirely. Instead of, I want to do yoga, but I don't know how, I thought, I don't know how, but I want to do yoga. I am stiff and I look silly, but I want to try this position. I don't want people to see me failing, but I want to learn from an instructor. When we take all of the buts circling around in our mind, telling us why we can't, and simply reframe them by changing the word order, by spinning the butt wheel, we turn our limiting beliefs into affirmations of what we want to do. We take control of the end of the sentence that we add on to discourage ourselves and keep ourselves small, and we leave the part of the sentence that reflects our wishes. And by flipping it instead, we land on the part of the sentence that reflects our wishes, our goals. I want to do yoga. I want to learn this position. I want to learn from an instructor. And once we learn how to take the thoughts we already have and distill them down into our goals and desires, minus all of the false narratives as to why we shouldn't risk going after what we want, we have a very accessible and actionable plan. Because as we have discussed before, motivation is key in actually achieving our goals. Our lofty New Year's resolutions may be excellent big goals for the long term, but if we are reaching for something that we haven't created a system of habits and motivational reinforcement for, it remains out of our reach. And when we fail, we simply fall back on the old idea that we cannot, because our failures are reinforcing this belief and making it even stronger, which roots us more firmly to the ground and to our limiting beliefs, while our goals float high above us. But when we use the information and beliefs that we already have and simply work to reframe our thoughts so that they lead us forward with our momentum rather than hold us back, we use the tools we already have to collect new data points that show us, in fact, that we can do things we want to do. We can start to prove ourselves that we are the person who does yoga, not by doing yoga perfectly, but by simply showing up and doing yoga imperfectly, but consistently, with dedication and improving over time. The position that seemed impossible will become possible. Our mental flexibility led to changes in our habits that over time gave us access to greater physical flexibility. Our desire to learn from an instructor showed us that we can try new things in a group and make all of the expected and unexpected mistakes along the way. And not only will it not be a problem for us, it will gift us the ability to recognize that everyone is at one point along in their journey as well, improving, failing, falling, getting back up, and trying again, growing and learning from others and themselves along the way. We can't learn these lessons if the only company we keep is the outdated limiting beliefs about who we are and what we can achieve. We can spin the butt wheel, change the direction of our thoughts, and change the trajectory of our lives with meaningful momentum of our beliefs and intention. What can you do to harness the power of your thoughts? Can you journal the limiting beliefs, the but sentences that you tell yourself every day, getting to know the background beliefs that you are hearing day in and day out? Can you practice meditation to clear your mind? Can you start a new movement routine to bring yourself back into your body so that when you feel dysregulated, you can take stock of what beliefs were swirling around in the milieu of neurochemicals and reactivity in your mind so that you can try to examine these and change the momentum of your thoughts and take back control over your nervous system? What plan will you have in place so when you try new things to tap into mindfulness, you don't get sucked back into your limiting beliefs and abandon your goals? Let me know what you're doing today to tap into a state of mindfulness and take steps to regain control over your nervous system. a key step to reclaiming your story and building your most beautiful future. Thank you so much for joining me today on this short talk on Talks with Dr. Shafer. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show so that you don't miss out on the amazing guest episodes we have coming up with people who have reclaimed their stories and are building beautiful futures, and short talks to help you master your mindset and reclaim your story to build your most beautiful life. Until next time, stay safe and take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Everybody's lonely, but you can hold on to me, and I will try to make it right. Everyone needs something. Let me be that